Okay, today we're going to look at two big, sprawling books written by Frenchmen 140 and 160 years ago. The first one is called The Count of Monte Cristo, written by Alexandre Dumas, and this was written in serial form. That is, the author would write a chapter, publish it, send it out to the public. The public would read that chapter and wait for the second chapter, which the author would then write, and so on. It would continue like so, serial publications. Many people did this at the time. That was the only way to do it, or the only practical way to do it. All of Dickens's novels are done this way, and by serial, and it's only later did they come to be compiled and sold as a novel, as we recognize a novel. Anyway, the Count of Monte Cristo, you probably know the story. It has been called the greatest novel of vengeance ever written, and it's about an innocent man being plotted against by his enemies and sent to a penal colony, or a prison. And once there, he comes in contact with another prisoner who promises him his fortune, because the older man is not going to see it. And he also instructs the younger man, our protagonist, in the ways of high society, and because he himself was from high society, and he gives them all of this instruction, including everything from table manners to fencing lessons. When the young man has done his term of service, when he's released from prison, he goes to the island, the Count of Monte Cristo Island, and finds the treasure that his friend had promised him, and becomes fabulously wealthy, returns to Paris, and he exacts revenge upon his enemies. That's the story. Now, this is very well done. Alexandre Dumas is a very good writer. He wrote also The Three Musketeers. There is a definitely a romantic flair to his writing, but even writing in serially, he's done it better than others. He's not as repetitious as others, and he manages to get the whole sweep of the story between two covers. There's a lot there, but it's very entertaining reading. There's the action moves along, and the revenge, such as it was, you can say, well, it's left for you to say, might he have turned the other cheek? He might have, but that's not the novel we're reading now. So it's if you want a big, sprawling, entertaining book, 160 years old and still read today, for reasons that you will know once you read it, then the Count of Monte Cristo will be for you a great read. The second book we're looking at, by another Frenchman, Victor Hugo, was published in 20 years after, in 1860, and it too has acclaim. It has never fallen out of favor. I think it's never fallen out of publication. It's always been published. And Victor Hugo, interestingly, in my opinion, wrote this as a complete novel. He did not write it as a serial. He wrote it complete, and this is how we think novels ought to be written today. Written as a complete novel and read as a complete novel. where you have the book entirely given to you and entirely read by a reading public. And Victor Hugo did this. And I think it makes for a better overall comprehensive cohesiveness in terms of reading and writing. Anyway, the story you may very well know because there's, like The Count of Monte Cristo, there's been numerous movies, musicals of late, made from this story, Les Miserables. And it follows Jean Valjean, who, for the petty crime of stealing a loaf of bread, is pursued by an obsessed policeman who looks at the letter of the law, not the spirit, and pursues this unfortunate man throughout the entire novel. And by that time, Jean Valjean, by the time he's, in order to start his life anew, he changes his name, assumes a new identity, and becomes a prominent citizen. Well, Javert, who's the name of the police officer, sees through even this. He pursues him, and there are some wonderful scenes here. One of them that still stands out for me is the pursuit, the foot pursuit, the foot chase through the Paris sewers. And in these large books, you can get often divergent chapters which look at things like sewer building in Paris and how big were the sewers, who built them, what were the capacities, why did they build them. All of that is covered quite thoroughly in Les Miserables. Anyway, these big sprawling novels like Victor Hugo's Les Miserables all deal with big questions as well, like justice, vengeance, the law, the letter, the spirit. And Victor Hugo does a great job of this. And again, big and sprawling, very much worth your while. You won't regret reading this. This is one of the pillars of literature, and it will serve you in good stead for the rest of your reading life.